Okay, thanks. Thanks, Helmut. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you for taking the time and making this available to your clients and subscribers. I'm always very excited and interested to help people understand and get exposed to the Lupaka gold. My personal background, I'm a geologist by training and have been in the gold business for 25 years. Started off in the field doing exploration and then went into mining operations. Worked for 15 years at various mining operations, both underground and surface. All of it in gold. Gold mining is all I've ever done. I was given the opportunity to then join the corporate office and was a CFO and president for a number of publicly traded Canadian listed gold explorers, and that's what brought me to Lupaka Gold. At the time I joined Lupaka Gold, it was a private company, very closely held, and they needed somebody to complete the initial public offering, raise some money to advance the Crucero Gold project in Peru. I've had some experience working in Peru in previous companies. I've worked in Ecuador, in Argentina, in Peru, and it was an opportunity to get into the ground floor with a really interesting, compelling asset, a chance to build a team and move forward. You don't get those opportunities very often, and I'm very pleased with what we've been able to accomplish and the team that we've been able to put together. Okay, so Lupaka is a very new company, having just completed our initial public offering 2 years ago in June. So not quite 2 years ago, we raised $20 million, listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. At that time, we had one project, the Crucero Gold project, and we had 800,000 ounces. I'll show you how the exploration results that we've been able to deliver. But you know, it was a small project with great promise, and we owned 60% of it. We started off 3 years ago with a specific purpose, creating a Peru-focused gold exploration company. Now, with the Crucero project, 800,000 ounces, at that time, we knew that it had significant exploration potential. We've now grown it to over 2 million ounces in combined categories. We've also completed a strategic acquisition, acquiring Andean American Gold last year. That gave us another 1.2 million ounces. So we've grown in the past 2 years from one project with 800,000 ounces. Now we have 3 strategic assets and good exploration ground and properties, all of them in Peru, and combined more than 3.4 million ounces and still growing. Well, that's a really good question. You know, Peru, I've been working in South America for the past 8 or 9 years. I've worked in, as I said, Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, Mexico. Peru has a long history of mining. They're one of the largest producers of copper in the world. They're a large producer of silver and gold. They have a very good land tenure, mineral rights legal system. It's been in place for a number of years. There's a good body of law. There's an infrastructure with consultants, equipment suppliers. It's a very good country to be involved in. The culture is good. The community relations, you know, this is important. Political risk exists everywhere in the world, including Canada, including the U.S., certainly, and in certain locations in South America. Peru has communities and governments that understand the importance of their extractive mineral industries for foreign exchange and taxes and other things, so they're supportive. They understand, they want the benefits that come with mining. It's a very good place to be able to do business. And now I won't say that it's easier, but they're supportive. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to be fair. You have to be open, all of which we are. And so we consider it a privilege, and I really enjoy working in Peru. It's not as competitive as Chile or Colombia. It's much safer than other jurisdictions. It's a great country to be involved in. From my point of view, yes. You know, we're asked frequently whether or not we would consider branching out of Peru. We started off with a mandate to be Peru focused. We have other opportunities coming to us from in Colombia, in Brazil, but we have chosen at this point in time to remain focused in Peru for a number of reasons. The geology is very good. It remains open to exploration. The Western companies, Canadian companies, are well represented there, but it's not as competitive as Colombia or Chile. Lower political risk than Argentina. So it is, in my opinion, the best place in South America, the greatest exploration potential, the least political risk, and the greatest government support. It is. It provides the greatest contribution to foreign currency exchange and to taxation and benefits in the country, yes. Certainly. You know, results matter in this business, and this chart is one that, this is our resource table. These are all compliant with regulatory requirements. This is a 43101 compliant resource, meaning that it is technically based, it is comparable, it has been audited by technical experts in Canada. We started off with 800,000 ounces in Crucero only. At the end of last year with our drilling, with our new resource table put out in March of 2013, we now stand at just 3.4 million ounces. It's remarkable growth for a junior exploration company. The gray scale that you see has been delivered to exploration at Crucero. The gold that you see is our strategic acquisition of the Invicta project, a new project for us. But this is, in terms of comparison with other junior exploration companies, this is what people need to look at. This is the ultimate objective of what we're trying to accomplish: discover and find gold. Everything that we do drives toward this. So this is a very compelling graph. Our finding costs are some of the lowest in the industry at less than $3 an ounce. Our discovery rate on drilling last year was a little under 100 ounces per meter drilled. Very competitive statistics. And I'm very proud of the efforts of the team and our final result, which you can see here in our resource growth. I mean, Crucero is a very good project, still has a lot of exploration potential. These kinds of results, we're looking for these. Now, this is exploration, Helmut. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to deliver these results going forward, but we have some very compelling properties. And I think that we're going to be able to continue to grow the resource of the company. Yes, we've quadrupled it in the last 3.5 years. I think that the answer to that question is it's comparable with other modern jurisdictions, which means that you have to undertake to do your environmental studies. You have to provide for reclamation and remediation. You have to do water characterization studies. You submit your applications, the government reviews them, and then grants the permits. We've been there for 3 years. We've been able to receive all of the necessary permits and licenses and bonds that we've applied for. So it's no easier than any other modern jurisdiction, but it's not difficult. There's a very well-defined procedure and body of law. You follow the steps, you take care of your business, providing for the environmental, the water quality, and the social needs of the communities, and then you're granted the right to explore. It's not, but it does take a little bit of time and effort, but that's okay. That's what we do. And you know, this is the advantage that we have as a small company just getting started. We have the opportunity to structure our business such that this is the way that we operate. You know, we take care of these things. We take care of the, you know, we have respect for the local communities and stakeholders. It's the way we do business. It certainly makes it more direct for us. We have good relationships, and we're able to get things accomplished. Yes, it's the project that we've had, that we based our initial public offering on. It's still our flagship project. This graph shows the resource growth there. Start off with 800,000. Now we're at 2.2 million. We now own 100% of this asset, having completed the buyout of the minority interest in January of 2012. We have gold recovery, metallurgical work that is ongoing that shows that recoveries are greater than 80%. It has very good infrastructure. We'll see in a moment the location. It's a very nice little project. Now, going back to communities, this is located in an area that's not, we don't have any communities nearby. That's another added benefit. The deposit also is quite unique in that it's located at surface. We'll see this a little bit later. It's at surface, exposed, mineralization. So it's a very interesting little project, quite unique in terms of exploration and gold. People who are familiar with Juliaca, or with Peru, we are in southern Peru. There is Lake Titicaca. Some people, it's a popular tourist destination in the city of Puno. We fly into the city of Juliaca. 5 hours later, we are at site. There's road access directly to the site. There's no helicopter access or anything other than that necessary. See, we're in a jurisdiction or an area that is well populated with other mines, companies that some of your investors may be familiar with, Minera IRL, the Oyachea project. You can see the Hochschild Group, Fortuna Silver. There's a number of projects. Now, our geologists and our other employees, this is a camp operation, but they come out of Puno. So access is very good. It's quite interesting to be able to drive there and back in one day. You can do it. Correct. And the cities of Juliaca and Arequipa, which we have shown on here, are mining centers for Peru. They provide all of the consultants, equipment suppliers, drillers, everything that we need comes out of Arequipa and Juliaca. The infrastructure is quite good for the project. The road is paved to Rosario, and then it's an all-weather road. We access in and out of our camp year-round, even during the rainy season. So it's access is very good. This next slide shows this is a very well understood and well documented geologic feature that extends through South America, the orogenic gold belt. The Crucero Gold Project is located in this orogenic gold belt. That feature right there hosts tens of millions of ounces of gold, number of producing properties. These run down the middle of the spine of the Andes. These are all low-grade metamorphic, structurally controlled gold deposits. The silver belt lies right next to this, just a step over closer to the coast. So many of the Hochschild's properties, the Buenaventura properties, are just off of this gold belt, just at one step closer to the coast. This is a very well geologic feature, and it provides us with a number of opportunities for exploration. The A1, that circle that shows the A1 zone right there, Helmut, that is where our 2.2 million ounces is located. That's the only exploration anomaly that has been drilled so far. We've been drilling on that for the past 2.5 years. These other areas that are designated and shown there, A3, 5, A11, those are other exploration areas that we have identified through structural geology, through ground magnetics, geophysics, geochemistry, that we know contain mineralization. We're doing the field work right now to further refine our understanding and to target the next round of drill holes. That work is ongoing this year. But the important thing for potential investors to keep in mind, A1 is the only one that's been drilled. A1 holds our 2.2 million ounces. We have 10 other opportunities that we've identified so far that could repeat that success. We are doing the work right now. We'll be drilling perhaps the end of this year, depending on how the field work goes. But you can see from this photo that we are, even though we're in the mountains, we are in one of these broad, flat air valleys. And this is why infrastructure, roads, moving drills, things like that, is relatively easier than some other locations. The topography here is not a big challenge to us. It's a very well situated site in terms of local, and you can see there's no communities. It's just it's good exploration ground. You can move around quite easily. Yeah, that's a really good question. The Peruvians have been working in these elevations for centuries. So we are at 4,300 meters, 4,200 meters. There are operating mines in Peru that are up in 5,200 meters. So this is not difficult. The people who work regularly at this elevation have no trouble at all. When I go there, I'm coming from sea level. I live in Vancouver, Canada. When I go there, it takes me a day and a half to get used to it, and then I acclimate quite quickly. So Westerners take a day or two to get used to it. The Peruvians work here with no difficulty at all. Yeah, sometimes you have to make equipment modifications. Sometimes you have to. Our trucks are turbocharged. We use the little diesel turbocharged pickup trucks, but they work fine. Turbocharging at this elevation is sometimes necessary, but the equipment works fine and is designed to work at these elevations and higher. One other point, Helmut, that is important for people to understand, and this is a new discovery. Oftentimes in Peru, you find that some of these deposits go back to the Spanish times. Some of these deposits have been understood and have been producing since the Spaniards were there, 300-500 years ago. That's how long of a history Peru has with mining. Crucero is a new discovery, a new district, and you can see that in everything that we do. You don't see existing workings. You don't see artisanal workings. That's why we say this is Peru's newest gold discovery, because it is still growing. We discovered it. We're developing it, and you can see as you look at this that the field is wide open for exploration. And that's one of the reasons that I originally decided to join Lupaka Gold, was because this deposit is quite unique. It is exposed at surface. It outcrops. You can stand on this ground. You can look at it. You can see the mineralization change. Even though our resource estimate goes down to a 0.4 gram cutoff, the core of this mineralized zone is 2 grams. It's high grade, higher grade, and is quite broad at the surface. What you see here, the red is the plus 2 gram core right there. Exposed at surface, it's more than 150 meters wide, and going up the hill, just that hillside is about 300 meters. The entire length of the strike length going down the valley and off the slide to the right, we've exposed it for more than 800 meters. It's a very unusual and unique orientation of the geology. So again, if you can recall the previous slide, this is A1. We're zeroing in now, and we'll be talking specifically about A1. See, that's A1 right there, and then you take a step back, and you can see the hillside. On the A1 zone that we're looking at, there is no overburden. That's right. And in fact, it's being the hillside, any kind of mining scenario that you may want to look at is just taking off the top of the hill before it goes down into the pit. The other exploration areas on the Crucero deposit do have a slight cover, 5 meters or so of overburden. That's one of the things that makes our exploration a little bit challenging. A1 is obvious. It sticks up there. It's exposed at surface. The other ones do have some slight cover, but they're all very near surface. This slide it's a little bit busy, but it's important. This is the plan view. So this is from above looking straight down at the property. The red dotted line shows the outline of the mineralized envelope. This is straight out of our technical report that was prepared by our independent experts. Again, this is a requirement in Canada, and I think most stock exchanges. And that's where you can see that it is about 150 meters wide and close to 900 meters in length of the A1 zone. What you see on this map is all of our historic drill holes. And if people have an interest, this entire report is published and available on CDAR, the Toronto Stock Exchange documents filing system. Okay. This is a public document. Now, this next slide that we're looking at, again, it's one of our principal exploration tools. These are ground magnetics. This is registering the slight magnetic differences that exist in the rocks from backpack-mounted magnetometers. We've covered the entire project area. The blue that you see are zones of known mineralization. A1 is identified there. You can see how much it pops out. It gives you a very distinct ground magnetics high. So then therefore, from what we know of structural geology throughout the region and what we know of ground magnetics, we start then looking elsewhere around the property. This is why we say we have 10 other opportunities to duplicate our success and find another multi-million ounce mineralized zone at Crucero. Down here, the Chaska area that you see, A3, 4, and 5, are very large, very highly mineralized. Others, the A10 is very interesting. When you get up into the north, A7 and A8 are also complemented by very strong regional structural components that we know provide us with some mineralizing, the conduits for the mineralizing fluids to emplace the gold. So this is why we're so excited about Crucero. Again, this is a new discovery. These have not been explored. They've not been drilled. They provide tremendous blue sky potential for us. And the groundwork is going on right now to follow up on these. And hopefully we'll be able to start coming up with some positive results this year, certainly, and be back into the field, back drilling as soon as we can generate high confidence drill targets. The blue identifies zones of of known mineralization. We know the blue is mineralized. So those will be the zones we'll be following up with. The Chaska area is covered with about 5 meters of soil and alluvial cover, so there's no outcrop. It makes the exploration challenging. We also do not know, Helmut. We know it's mineralized. We know that there are large zones of mineralization. We need to test these and follow up to see whether or not there's gold associated with it, but we know it's mineralized. So, there's in A1, there's gold associated with the mineralization, strong structural controls, good receptive host rocks. The same exists in Chaska. We need to get in there and do the field. The Chaska ground magnetics anomalies are 2.5 kilometers in length by over a kilometer wide. These are large areas. Drilling is expensive, and we want to make sure we've got a good treasury, we have a good cash balance. We want to make sure we spend that money wisely in the most cost-effective manner. So we're focusing this year on field work, but Chaska has the potential to be much larger than A1. This is what we call regional structural geology. These are fault lines, faults, and fractured zones. What you see on A1, which is it's identified there in the middle, is where these faults and fractures come together are areas where it's highly broken up. The mineralizing fluids are able to come in and replace the gold. So it's at these areas of confluence where you're looking for some of your mineralized, your largest mineralized zones. There are two distinct sets of fractures that are faults. There's a north-south one, and then there's a northeast or northwest-southeast. A7 and 8 lie at the confluence of some of these. We haven't put them on the map, but A1, you see the orientation for A3, 4, and 5. They follow these major structures. So when we're doing exploration, we're looking for structures, we're looking for ground magnetics anomalies. We follow that up with geochemistry from surface. We follow it up with detail mapping, and then we start identifying drill sites. But from the structural geology and the ground magnetics, this is where we get our optimism about the exploration potential for the Crucero project. Invicta is an interesting project. It was acquired as part of the American transaction. We did a corporate acquisition last year. Indian American held the Invicta project. This is a very well understood, highly drilled project. It's been around for years. Barrick used to own it. In this photo, you can see the dump. There is about 1,200 meters of drift tunneling into this project. 1.2 million ounces. It's polymetallic, meaning gold and copper. About 65% of the value is gold and the remainder is copper. It's a very large land position, and that's the reason that we had an interest in acquiring Indian American. There's 30,000 hectares of property here, a very large land position, of which only a small fraction has been explored. The Invicta project that has the 1.2 million ounces, 600 hectares. The entire project is 30,000 hectares. It has great potential for exploration. That's what we do. We'll be assessing this project and identifying how we can best move forward in terms of exploration and development of the Invicta resource. That is true. There is near-term development potential here. Now, Lupaka Gold, our capability, we are explorers. We are not engineers and builders. This project has, since we acquired it, we've had a number of inquiries as to what our intention is with the Invicta project. These inquiries are coming from people who are looking for near-term production. These are companies who are mine builders and operators. So we are evaluating strategic options for the Invicta proper, and we'll be assessing those over the next several months as to how we might be able to join with or somehow cooperate with near-term production with this project and still be able to offer Lupaka shareholders exposure to production and exploration upside. This project is getting quite a bit of attention, and we'll be looking at that. You know, while we are exploring on the rest of the surface area, it may be that we can somehow join with a partner that is better able to advance this project and get us some production, some operations, perhaps some cash flow in the next 3 to 4 years. This is a project that is ready to go for permitting and construction. It can be done quite quickly. Well, that wouldn't be our preferred alternative, but under the right circumstances, yes. I would. My preferred alternative, Helmut, would be that we give Lupaka shareholders the opportunity to participate in expansion of the resource, in exploration growth, as well as development of the project. My preferred alternative here would be that Lupaka would continue to explore on this large prospective land package, and that we join up with a partner to help us develop the resource, the currently identified 1.2 million ounce resource. That would be the best alternative for Lupaka shareholders. Yes, this is the second asset that was held by Andean American. Southern Legacy, a publicly traded company. Andean American vended some properties into Southern Legacy in exchange for common shares. We now hold those common shares. We hold 17% of the common shares of the company. We have 2 board representatives, and we try to assist them where we can. But it requires no time from our management team. This is a common share holding. That being said, it's a very interesting strategic asset for us. Southern Legacy is a property that lies between 2 operating mines. Buenaventura, Tantotai property, Goldfields, Cerro Corona. They're only about 10 kilometers distance from each other. Southern Legacy lies in between them. Southern Legacy will at some point be taken out by one or the other of these companies, but they're working hard to expand their resource and resolve some property conflicts. It's a very interesting little company. The share price is very low. It's come off a lot in the last 6 months, but it's very it's strategic land holding between 2 operating mines. It will be taken out at some point. Now, the thing that I like about it for Lupaka shareholders, and the reason I believe it makes sense for us to continue to hold it, is that these are 2 of the most successful operating mining companies in Peru. You have Buenaventura. You have gold fields, both internationally respected. It would be certainly the control block that we hold is of interest to both of these companies. They both have abilities to build and construct. Maybe they can help us on Invicta. They both have a large inventory of exploration properties. We may want to establish a relationship. We may want to trade for some projects. It's a very strategic asset for us that draws us close to two very good, large, well-recognized mining companies. Yes, you know, community relations is so important in Peru. It occupies probably half of our staff is dedicated to community relations. It's so important. It's important that you cultivate open, honest, respectful relationships. It's important that you provide them with programs that demonstrate that you care and that you want to be there for a long time. So we don't need to spend a lot of time talking about this helmet, but I do want to let people know that this is important. We focus on it a lot. We provide not only road maintenance and infrastructure improvements, we support schools, medical, dental, eyeglass. We provide jobs. We have sustainable business initiatives, local business support, just a number of things that make good sense for the company and the local communities. Yes, that's right. And so the three that are listed at the bottom of the list, they're Patrick Soares, David Ray, and Paulo Bilzekjian, have left our board, and they've been replaced with three new directors. Two of our directors now are prominent industry executives that live in Lima that are Peruvians. Our third new director is the president and CEO of Panoro Resources. He lives here in Vancouver, but he has been operating in Peru for a number of years, has lived there for 7 or 8 years of his life. So we're very pleased with our new directors and the Peruvian focus that it brings. Right, right. Well, for them, they both want to have they want to be able to contribute some of their skills and experience to a growing gold exploration Peru-focused company. So that's what's in it for them. For us, our new directors have very strong ties to industry. One is a mining engineer, and one is an attorney with specialties in finance. So we're very well represented in industry and finance at upper levels of government, and you know, they fill a void that at this particular growth moment in our history is very well needed, and I'm happy to have them. We have enough money to be able to implement our business plan. It's not a lot of money, but you know, in this market in Peru, what we are seeing is that companies that did not raise cash have not been able to raise cash, and they're running out of money. You're right. So the opportunity for us in this market is, if we need to be selective, but there are projects and companies and properties out there that are coming available for sale because their owners can't support them. There are buying opportunities in the market unlike any we have seen in a generation. Good project and good people, now is the time. And this is a strategic shift in focus for Lupaka Gold, is that we are looking, we've put together a team of experienced geologists that are dedicated to the project evaluation, project acquisition. We intend to put out press releases through the summer as the team identifies and options and acquires some of these projects. But now is the time to do it. In this market, you take advantage of the situation and pick up good projects. Unlike at costs, unlike we've seen in years, just like you said. So we've accelerated our efforts there. We see a lot of projects. We're going to be selective, but we intend to grow the company through acquisition. Both. And this is important. Our Peru team is focused on projects and actively seeking projects, and we're having a number of proposals submitted to us. Our corporate office here is talking to other companies. You know, acquisitions, corporate acquisitions are always difficult, but we are we've got a team that is actively looking for the right company with the right project. At these valuations, Helmut, there are a number of excellent buying opportunities out there. We are active in looking at projects, but we have to remain open. And maybe this is clarification. We have to remain open to other possibilities. This is a different market than any we've seen in many years. Some of us in our entire career, we've never seen markets that are this bad. So there are opportunities. We have to stay open to that. You need to be cautious. You're absolutely right. Our focus is on and project acquisition in Peru. But we have to stay open to all opportunities. We see an opportunity in this market. We have an excellent Peruvian staff. We have a good cash balance. We've proven to the market that we are good explorers in growing our resource base. We've proven to the market that we can do a corporate transaction. We've demonstrated and delivered these growth results. So we're quite unique. Our share price is low, but we believe that astute investors can see that there's a company here that's quite different. We have a very clear strategic vision. We want to buy projects in Peru while we continue with our base studies and field examinations of Crucero and Invicta. We're very focused, and we intend to deliver value to Lupaka shareholders. It's a very interesting marketplace. We'll just have to see how it works out, but there's buying opportunities for smart investors right now, and we would like to have and would welcome any that would be interested in coming into the Lupaka story at this particular time. It's a great buying opportunity. If people have an interest in looking at any other points, it provides some additional detail. There's a number of resources on the website for people. We'd encourage people. We're proud of our company. We encourage people to look at our website. It's very complete in identifying other aspects about Lupaka Gold. Well, thank you, Helmut. We feel that way too. I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity today and taking the time. This has been a very good interview. Excellent questions. If we have we make ourselves available for follow-up. If anyone would like additional questions answered, feel free to contact us at the website address that's listed, and we're happy to always help people understand better the Lupaka story.